Hello everybody, welcome to another Gasmask Reader book review. This time I'm talking about a very short, novella-length horror novella that I read on my Kindle. It's called Worm by Tim Curran. Worm. As you can probably guess by the cover and the title, it is about killer worms. Yeah, okay, worms, not worm. So the title is slightly misleading as there is more than one worm. And they're not all big, giant ones like it is pictured on the cover, like you might see in Dune or Tremors, or, well, I guess the Tremors ones weren't that big, or Dune, or maybe Brian Keene's The Conqueror Worms, if you've read it. Which you should if you like horror, because it's a pretty good book. This one, well, I'll get to whether it's a good book or not at the end, like I usually do. The plot is, well, extremely simple to explain. Basically, it's set in a neighborhood in a, small town or maybe the suburbs or something. And suddenly, a bunch of weird black goo starts rising up out of the ground and through the pipes in the houses and stuff. Everybody's like, oh no, there's black goo everywhere. It's like flooding the town. You know, they get told that the National Guard and emergency services are going to be coming to rescue them eventually, but, you know, this is a more middle class, maybe even lower middle class type neighborhood. So, you know, they're pretty far down on the list to be rescued there, because naturally they will start with the wealthier people on the other side of town, because the whole town is being flooded with the goo. And before any rescue can show up, worms start appearing, and, you know, these aren't little itty bitty earthworms. Even if they aren't as big as that, these are more like the size of, as largest snake. You know, basically they're several feet long and as maybe thick around as my arm. And they also have a mouthful of razor-sharp teeth that they naturally use to immediately attack any living creature that gets nearby them that isn't another worm. So as you might expect, most of the book is basically people in the neighborhood getting ripped apart by worms. Of course, eventually, near the end, there are a few survivors who manage to fight back and survive, because they're survivors. And that's pretty much the plot of the book. Not really all that much to it. It's only novella length, and it's like I said, a very simple plot. So now, why don't I give you a quick taste of the writing, so you can see what that sounds like, and then I'll tell you my thoughts. Like most days, it began badly. Before Charisse left for work, she told Tony to remember to walk Stevie, to take him out for a brisk run through the park to get his heart going and blood pumping, because it was good for his health and longevity. Not Tony's, of course. Hell, he was just her husband. But the dog, Stevie, which was a perfectly gay sort of name for a dog as far as Tony was concerned. But then again, Stevie was a perfectly gay sort of dog. Half Pomeranian and half poodle. Something dog-loving Charisse called a lapdog, and something Tony himself called simply embarrassing. Lapdog! No, it's a boot dog, in that when it starts yipping in its gay little voice, you give it a kick. Charisse did not find that funny at all. She also didn't find it amusing when he asked her to get rid of the ugly little carpet crawler and get a real dog, a lab, or a collie, or a shepherd. No, she scooped the little mutt up and kissed its homely, pushed-in face. But Mama loves her little puppy, her little baby, her little Stevie Weevy. Kiss, kiss, smooch, smooch. Jesus, it was enough to make you fucking sick. When Tony finally got his ass out of bed from his afternoon nap, stretched and yawned, the little beggar was waiting for him. And oh boy, the look in his eyes. It was almost as if Stevie understood exactly how things worked. That Mama Charisse tugged the purse strings, and Tony was an unemployed slob, a second-class citizen, a subservient domestic that washed the floor and answered the phone, scrubbed the toilet, and made casseroles and walked little Stevie Weevy and cleaned up his accidents on the living room carpet. That Mama Charisse wore his balls on a choker chain around her throat, and when she said jump, Tony not only asked how high, but if he should do a fucking backflip and a double pirouette while he was up there. God, it was like the damn dog understood. If there's one thing you can get from that, it's that Tony is an asshole. I mean, seriously. The way he talks, he is not likable at all. Basically, as I read that, I almost hoped he would be one of the ones who died, but sadly, he is one of the survivors. Which is one of the things I didn't really like about this book. I mean, not that the character I didn't really like and who was a giant asshole survived, but that a few chapters in, he just miraculously stops being an asshole for no real reason. I mean, other than, I guess worms attacking everybody might make you change your personality a little bit, but I don't think you'd go from being a total asshole to totally not an asshole. And from totally hating your little doggy to liking your doggy or even loving it. No, that's just not believable. But anyway, I should start off with the things I like. The book is fast-paced. It's a fun, quick sort of read. And overall, I actually will say that I enjoyed it. But there are some things I didn't like the characters, like Tony there. There's also the fact that there were a lot of characters. Most of them are minor characters. And basically, every chapter in the novella, and there's quite a few of them, is told from the point of view of a different character. I mean, not completely different. Alternates between like half a dozen or so. Problem is, most of them don't really interact with each other because most of them will pop up in a chapter, watch things going to hell, then pop up a couple chapters later, see things getting worse, and then pop up a third time to get ripped apart by a worm without meeting anybody else or having anything to do with any of the other characters. Which basically just makes them pointless. They're just there to be killed by worms, so they might as well have not been there at all. And it also seemed like the ones that were just there to get killed got a lot more time than some of the survivors, other than Tony, the unlovable asshole who was around quite a bit. And the other survivors seemed like they were hardly there at all until they were the only ones left. And then there's also the fact that a few minor quibbles, I guess. Number one was the fact that there was a female character named Birdie, which confused the heck out of me. Mostly because Birdie is usually a man's name, and when I think of it, I'm more likely to think of Birdie Wooster from the P.G. Wodehouse novels. And I would never have considered it as a woman's name until I read the book. I guess it can be used as a woman's name. It's just a lot more likely to be used as a man's name. And that's really just a minor, pointless quibble. And there's a couple other things that I personally don't bother me quite as much, but I know some people really hate. Like, the dog dies, a baby dies, and there's absolutely no explanation for what the heck is going on, why there's suddenly black goop pouring out of the ground, and where these giant worms came from, and is it just a local phenomenon, or is it happening everywhere? We don't know because we get absolutely no explanation at all. All we get is a bunch of scenes of worms ripping people apart, and people being stupid and getting killed, and people being fairly smart and trying to survive, people going crazy. I mean, it's a decent read, kind of fun, but it does get a bit repetitive. That's why, I kind of like it. I can't quite recommend it as much as some other books. I do have a few of his other books on my Kindle, and hopefully I'll read them sooner or later, and maybe I'll like them better. I don't know, but this one I didn't think was all that great. So I can only give it 3.5 gas masks. It's worth reading. It's cheap on the Kindle. In fact, if you have the Kindle subscription thingy where you can read a bunch of ebooks for free. This is on that, so if you got that, you might as well give it a shot if you got the time. But if you, I wouldn't recommend paying full price for it. We'll have another book review up probably tomorrow because I do have a book that I got a review copy of that I'm almost finished, and I've kind of been putting it off because I've been slacking, but I'm going to try and finish it and get that review up tomorrow to get it out of the way. Until then, keep on reading, folks. Goodbye.
If you like this video, please click subscribe or watch some of my older videos. If you think the book I reviewed sounds interesting, buy a copy. There are always links to the Amazon store in the description for this book and any other books I mentioned. If you have any suggestions on other books I could read, or any other comments, queries, insults, or anything else you want to say, please feel free to mention it in the comments section.